Okay, so I'm not going to make this too long, but I just want to touch on some of the main points. There was a debate last night, hosted, as I understand it, by Sky News, between Jeremy Corbyn and Owen Smith. The final decision of the Labour leadership contest, I think, will be on the 21st of September. Now, a quick disclaimer: I'm not a member of the Labour Party, so I don't have a vote in it. But I am interested because it will determine who is the leader of Her Majesty's opposition. It's a very important role. The way things are going, my instinct is that the Tories are going to be in government for a very long time. And the situation the Labour Party is in at the moment is from my perspective, a complete mess. And a lot of this is coming from, in my opinion, the attitude of Corbyn supporters. Now, I didn't watch the whole debate, but I did see an interesting segment in which the moderator asked why people were booing, and this very obnoxious woman kind of got up and said, "We all hate Tony Blair, and these MPs are cards and traitors," her words. Um, that's it just there, right? That mentality of you have to agree with Corbyn 100% or you're a Blairite traitor is, to me, just demonstrative of the fact that these Corbyn hardliners are so narrow-minded and so belligerent to anyone else with a different point of view. They love to say that Labour is a broad church that welcomes different points of view. Right now, my perception of the Labour Party is that unless you hold hard left neo-socialist views, then you're not welcome. So it's not a broad church. It's very much around the personality of one man. It's very much around Jeremy Corbyn. Now, I don't disagree with everything Mr. Corbyn stands for, and I do give him credit for raising some important social issues in society. As a centrist, the left wing side of me has deep resentment at some Tory policies, some of the cuts, the cruel welfare policies. These are all areas where I would find myself sympathetic to some of Mr. Corbyn's positions. And on a personal basis, I don't have any great animosity towards Mr. Corbyn, although I do think some of his positions are very problematic. His attitude to terrorist organisations, for me, is a major issue. Um, but leaving that aside, his social platform, I don't have a major issue with, but I do have a problem with the attitude of Corbyn supporters like that woman. It's just so obnoxious. Firstly, Jeremy Corbyn himself wasn't exactly the most loyal member. You know, these people say they hate Tony Blair, but the point is, Tony Blair was democratically elected leader of the Labour Party. He won 3 general elections. Now, Jeremy Corbyn was a serial rebel, so he didn't exactly show loyalty to Tony Blair when Blair was leader. So these people are turning around and saying that anyone who disagrees with Corbyn is a traitor. Well, you can't have it both ways. You can't say people have to be loyal to Corbyn, but whenever someone else is leader, it's okay for us to rebel. Because the way I see the Labour Party, I'm well aware that it was founded on socialist principles. I get that. But Labour did move towards the centre because they had to. They had to. You know, 1983, 1987, all those elections that Labour lost, they lost them for a reason because they were seen to be unelectable. Now, Corbyn supporters get very angry when you put this point to them, but the point is, if your entire traction is just looking at one ideology, i.e., socialism, nothing wrong with that, but if you're not trying to get other people involved, if you're not trying to branch out to the wider public, I'll tell you something right now. Socialists in Britain are not going to bring a party into government. There isn't enough of them. They can be significant enough to make a big showing, but unless the Labour Party starts to attract people like myself, centrists who are looking for someone to vote to, and you can insult me or whatever, but there's many other people out there who feel the same way I do, and at the moment, they're doing absolutely nothing to welcome anyone with a different point of view. So when I see centrist MPs who are heckled and harassed and insulted all the time simply for having a different point of view. And I'm not talking just about Owen Smith, because obviously he's standing against Corbyn, so you'd expect a bit of a rumble there. But I'm talking about anybody who has a different point of view. Their mentality, their tiny little minds get into defensive mode and, oh, you're a Tory Blairite traitor. That sort of mentality, just, it's pathetic. And this is deeply entrenched in the Labour Party right now, in Corbyn's Labour Party. So, as far as I'm concerned, they're digging their own grave if they don't understand that you need to branch out. What I like about Owen Smith is the fact that people call him a career politician. I say he is a man who wants his party to get into government. I don't agree with all his positions. He's still more to the left than I am, but I think he has more aspirations for the Labour Party. The fact of the matter is, Jeremy Corbyn looks like a protest leader. You can say Smith is a careerist, and you can say, oh, Corbyn's humble, he doesn't want power. That's just the problem. What's the point of having the leader of an opposition who doesn't want to be Prime Minister? Because that is the impression that Corbyn gives. I don't think that's humble. I think that's unpractical. If you really are a socialist and you really want those principles brought into government, start opening up your mind and not being so intolerant to different points of view. Because you can still have socialism as the core platform, but just don't be so intolerant of different points of view. Because right now, it's the ugly attitude of that woman just summed it all up for me. And it's something I've been noticing ever since this thing has been going on. And I'm sick and tired of the attitude of Corbynistas. I'm not talking about everyone who supports Jeremy Corbyn, but there is a very large contingent who do behave this way, and I'm sick of them. Because I think it's bad for democracy. So I'll leave it there. Let me know your thoughts. If you are a Corbyn supporter and you don't agree with what I'm saying, I would challenge you to address the points I'm making. Do you not think that even if you keep those socialist principles as the core, do you not think you should at least be trying to convince people of your point of view instead of just insulting them? Because that's all I see at the moment.